Good morning. What's today? Today's Wednesday, I think. Yep, today is Wednesday, May 6th. Um, it's Teacher Appreciation Week, which some of you know because you sent out super, super sweet and wonderful things to Miss McClendon, and she sent it out, and they were amazing and touching. And thank you, Corey, and thank you, Jalen, especially. You guys are the best. I miss all of you very much. I haven't seen you in longer than just this pandemic because of everything before that. So I miss you guys. Um, Quickly, if you plan on going to Live for Life for high school, make sure that your parents have contacted Dr. Noble. She sent us an email asking to like check in with a bunch of you. So just if you know for certain that you are, make sure that your parents have communicated that with her by Friday, okay? Because they still have to like get enrollment stuff taken care of. Okay, so we started talking a little bit about poetry, and now we're going to talk about how to write everybody's favorite, basically a CER for poetry or like literary analysis. It's the same as what we've talked about before, but it is something that we typically as eighth graders struggle with. So we're going to continue to work on it. Okay. So, a couple quick notes and then yeah. Okay, so we have four main parts, just like anything else that we do. So for a poetry or literary analysis paragraph, your first sentence is your topic sentence or your claim. Okay, we know this. So this answers the question from the prompt. And an important thing is that it does not say yes or no. Okay? Because when you're writing these paragraphs, you want to assume that your reader is not thinking like, yes, let me read this based on this question, right? You want it to be able to stand alone. So you're not saying yes or no. Oops, it's early still. So do not say yes or no. So just answer it. So if they're like, is the character growing and changing throughout the course of the text? You don't say, yes, they are. You would say, this character grows and changes. Like you kind of restate the question with your answer. Do not say yes or no. Okay? So super important, something that we've struggled with honestly all year. And so that's going to be like one sentence, maybe two sentences if you need it. Okay, your evidence and your support. You should have 2 to 3 pieces. And you want to make sure that you're not just picking random quotes. You can't just choose any old line from the story or the poem and be like, yes, here's my evidence. It has to actually match what you're arguing. Okay? So, with this, we're kind of hitting on things that I've seen throughout this entire year, throughout my course of my years of teaching, that we just, eighth graders really do struggle with because we haven't had enough practice, honestly. And so, with your evidence, you have to make sure that it actually connects to it. You can't just pick random stuff. You have to pick something that aligns with it so that you can explain it. Okay? It's got to be relevant. So, 2 to 3 pieces of evidence, make sure you use quotation marks. And I'm going to show you later on something specific about poems that you have to do when you cite it, but I will show you that when I show you my example, okay? Right, so your analysis and reasoning. So this is your elaboration. This is where you actually analyze what you are talking about. You have to say more than this supports my claim, right? You can start off with that. You can use sentence starters, but this is where you have to explain why the evidence supports what you're talking about. And you're basically like doing a deeper analysis of the text in this reasoning part. This is so, so, so important because honestly, you can pick random quotes, but if you have really good reasoning, You can make things go. That's the thing with English, is a lot of times right and wrong is a little bit like skewed because it's really about how you argue for what you're thinking. Okay? The big purpose of English and of writing and of these things that I'm trying to teach you is how to logically argue for a point. Okay? That's a big skill that we're kind of trying to work on here, is to really get your point across. And it's an awesome thing to be able to do in life, really. Like you can convince so many people if you're good at this. And why the evidence supports the claim. Make sure it connects. And use sentence starters if needed. So that's this evidence shows that, or this supports my claim because. I need to move this up, sorry. Okay. Woo. As the weeks go on, my handwriting gets worse and worse. And our final thing is your concluding sentence. These are kind of hard, so you're wrapping up the paragraph, okay? And you're basically restating your claim. This is your way of kind of summarizing it. You restate it. You don't repeat it the exact same way. So you can say things like therefore, as a result, and I'll show you another example of that on the next one, okay? And so none of these four things are new. These are all things we've talked about before. It's just remembering them, excuse me, and applying them to a poem. Okay, so on here, this is a poem from a random poetry book that I have that I bought from the store that's not written in any specific structure. It's like a free verse type thing. She does a whole bunch of different things in this book. It's actually a really cute little book. Anyway, so it doesn't actually have a title, but this is our author. So, our poem. I will not bandage all your wounds. I will not kiss all your bruises. I will not admire all your scars. Instead, I will watch you as you bandage yourself and mend all your bruises and wear your own scars because you are your own hero and all your sadness is yours and I will love you because of it. Okay? So that's our poem. So then, if I say, and mine is longer than yours will be because I get carried away with things. So if my question is, what is the speaker's message in the poem? Cite evidence to support your response. So this is going to be my example for you. So we're just going to read through it and kind of underline a couple of things and note a couple of things. Okay, so in the poem, we don't have a title, so it just says the poem. Like Courtney Pepper now, we have the author. The speaker is explaining that the subject of the poem may be broken and beaten down, but they are whole and loved despite their pain. So this is my topic sentence. This is my claim. This answers my question. And notice how it doesn't say like very specifically yes, no, or the message is blah, 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 which you can say, but it makes it sound a little better if you're being a little more creative with it. So the speaker is explaining that the subject, the person that they're talking about, of the poem may be broken and beaten down, but they're whole and loved despite their pain. So that's the argument I'm trying to go with. So then the speaker begins with, in quotation marks, I will not bandage all your wounds. And this is the thing that I was talking about before. When you have a poem and you are citing it, since poems have those lines like this, you put a slash when you cite it because you want to show that it's a new line, but you don't have to like do anything else. So you just put a slash and then you capitalize it because that's how it is in the poem. Okay? So this begins the poem by making the reader think the speaker does not care. So that's part of my reasoning. And then I continue. However, the speaker then says, I will watch you slash as you bandage yourself. This line demonstrates, so there's a good sentence starter for reasoning, the speaker's faith and encouragement for the subject. It shows, another sentence starter, that they believe in the strength of the subject and realize that they do not need to be saved. Finally, the speaker says, and all your sadness is yours, and I will love you because of it all. These lines wrap the poem up by explaining that emotions are a piece of who the person is, and love does not depend on a person being happy. The speaker supports the subject in times of joy and times of sorrow, and she loves the subject for every part of that person. So that's all of my evidence and reasoning all in there. And then my concluding sentence. So again, the message of the poem, which goes back to what my topic sentence is about and what my claim is supposed to be, is that love does not go away because someone is hurt and everyone is capable of being their own hero. Okay? So in this way, this concluding sentence basically says the same as my topic sentence, but just in different words, which is totally fine because you want it to be like a sandwich. Okay? Like you have your point here, and then you remind the person of the point by the very end. Okay? So on your exit slip, there is a poem for you to read, and then it's going to have a couple different questions. And so it's going to be like, question 1, write a topic sentence for this question. And you're basically going to like almost write the full paragraph without fully writing the full paragraph. So it's just going to break it down into a couple questions for you. And there's my tiny picture at the bottom. Okay, so that was really loud. Sorry. I'm having quite a day here. Okay, go ahead, get that done. If you haven't gotten the quiz done from last week, need to get that done as soon as possible and make sure that you are keeping yourself all caught up so that we can all finish on time and enjoy our summer and whatever uncertainty is happening with everything, because who knows what the rest of the year will look like with coronavirus. So, all right, have a great day.